Good evening and welcome to the news. The past few days have met Nigerians in a reflective mood and contemplative mood. The demise of former President Muhammadu Buhari has dominated discussions. His politics and service to the nation forming the crux of commentaries within and outside the country. We'll bring some of the key activities organized in his honor. Also tonight, Summit on Constitutional Democracy gives tips and steps to entrench democratic practices in Nigeria.
It is imperative that we persuade our leaders through reasoned argument, consensus building, and compelling evidence that Nigeria is in dire need of a new constitutional framework that reflects the aspirations and realities of all its citizens.
Former Vice President and two-time PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar resigns from the PDP, says party has lost its way. On science and technology, we have a special on the deployment of artificial intelligence, AI, in the workplace, what enhances and what devalues. Also tonight, business correspondent Benny Adams will be tracking policies promoting economic growth and the numbers backing them up in the manufacturing sector, while Badia Delaya will give us updates from the outgoing African Women Championship in Morocco. It's a loaded package, and as we say, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. I'm Ian Rajan. This is News Extra. Welcome. We'll begin from Daura tonight, where Vice President Kashim Shettima and members of the Presidential Burial Committee joined others in performing the second prayer at the late former President Buhari's residence in Daura, Katsina State. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports that the third-day prayer is expected to take place tomorrow, with the Vice President leading other mourners at the prayers.
Vice President Kashim Shettima arrives at the residence of late President Muhammadu Buhari along with governors of Katsina and Borno states, and the Presidential Committee saddled with the responsibility to ensure smooth burial rites for the late former president. The Vice President condoled with the immediate family and later joined the mourners for the second-day prayer.
Allah ka gafarta wa Muhammadu Buhari, Allah ka yafe masa.
Today, we have come to Sierra Leone to offer condolences and to also offer prayers for the repose of the soul of the former President Muhammadu Buhari and the delegation.
Let us make sure that this is not the end of our prayer for him and all our departed ones. It is obligatory upon all of us. If some people who touch our life positively leave this world, we have to make it mandatory upon us to continue to pray for them until we leave this world.
For we, the people of Katsina State, is indeed a great loss. We have lost a father, we have lost a feeler, who has supported us in our journey. All we have to do today and beyond today forever is to continue to pray.
Every soul shall taste the torment of death. Death is an inevitable destiny that is hanging on everyone's neck. We should all consider ourselves as travelers with our bags and baggages waiting for the train. To the family of the late president, it was not a loss to the people of Daura Emirate or the people of Katsina State. It was a major loss to the nation and to the African continent. People from far and wide had called to commiserate with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu over the sad demise of our elder statesman.
Sympathizers are still trooping into the ancient city of Daura to condole with the family and people of Katsina State for the repose of the departed. From Daura, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Meanwhile, notable Borno citizens have joined millions of other Nigerians to mourn the demise of former Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari, highlighting his enduring and impactful legacies on the lives of the people at different stages of his stewardship as governor of northeastern state and of Borno, as well as civilian president. Mohammed Goni, who spoke with some of Borno elders, highlights the former leader's impactful legacy in the state.
A statesman of uncommon discipline, led President Buhari's contribution to national development spanned decades, both as a military officer and a civilian leader. For the people of Borno State, led President Buhari holds a special place in history.
Baba Buhari, I was privileged to work under his government in the then northeastern state. General Buhari lived a life of courage, patriotism, and love for his nation.
In terms of personal uprightness, integrity, and incorruptibility, he belonged to the category of the first generation Nigerians.
His program at that time, the war against discipline, which is a reorientation of our society at that time. In fact, at that period, even if you are talking to your child or your spouse or anybody, even within your house, you are just conscious of what you want to say, as if someone is watching me. To that extent, Buhari has instilled discipline in Nigeria.
Late President Buhari will be remembered as an epitome of integrity and symbol of transparency. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
Similarly, more dignitaries continue to arrive in Daura to condole with the late former President Muhammadu Buhari's family. Husseini Suleiman reports that the President of the Senate described late President Buhari as a role model in contemporary politics.
Nigerians, including prominent personalities, continue to troop to the residence of the late former President of Nigeria to condole with the family. Traditional rulers, serving and former cabinet members of the late president's administration were present to commiserate with the family. The legacy left behind will always be remembered by Nigerians and leaders across the board.
Doggedness, patience, perseverance. That's it. And then being trustworthy. That's it. In fact, the landscape has completely changed, at least in the northern part of this country.
This is one man among many who sacrificed his life to keep Nigeria as one.
Nigerians will learn from him patience, fairness, and doggedness to the ideals that he believes are good for the country.
Condolences to the family, to relatives far and near, to the people of Daura, and to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Governor of Katsina State.
President Muhammadu Buhari symbolizes integrity, discipline, honesty, and his anti-corruption crusade will ever last. And whoever remembers him will remember him from those values, those qualities.
In the same vein, the Emir of Daura also received the delegation of Controller General of Immigration in his palace, led by ACG Bashir Sa'idu Daura, along controllers of Kano, Kaduna, Jigawa, and Katsina State, who fed condolence to the emirate and people of the state. In Daura, Hussein Suleiman, NTA News.
In the same vein, the former Minister of Defense, Major General Bashir Magashi, retired, says he received the news of the death of his former boss, former President Muhammadu Buhari, under whom he had served the country as a soldier and later as a member of the Federal Executive Council from 2019 to 2023 with profound sadness and devastation. In a statement, the former Minister of Defense notes that late President Buhari lived a good and fulfilled life as a leader, a patriot and statesman whose pedigree as a principled yet compassionate, strict, but simple, gallant, good-natured and God-fearing disposition undoubtedly defined his strength, character, leadership style and personality. He prays that the Almighty God grants all his loved ones and the nation the emotional strength and fortitude to bear his loss. In the same vein, former Ogun State Governor Senator Ibikunle Amosun has paid a heartfelt tribute to the late former President Muhammadu Buhari, hailing him as a courageous leader whose enduring legacy of discipline, compassion for the underprivileged, and steadfast integrity will remain etched in history. In a tribute entitled, "Oh My Good God," Senator Ibikunle Amosun reflects on how his path crossed with late former President Muhammadu Buhari, recalling with deep gratitude how Buhari stood by him, even putting his life on the line during the declaration of his gubernatorial ambition at the Ake Palace in Abuja. He expressed his condolences to his widow, Aisha Buhari, and his children, his surviving elder sister, Hajia Rekia, and the entire Buhari family. Also, the State House management has opened condolence register in honor of the immediate past President Muhammadu Buhari, who just passed on. This is in compliance with the directive of President Bola Tinubu that condolence registers be opened in all federal ministries, departments and agencies, as well as at Nigerian embassies and missions abroad. The Permanent Secretary of the State House, Mr. Temitope Fashidemi, who signed the register at the administrative building of the presidential villa, paid glowing tribute to the late former President Muhammadu Buhari, lauding him as an elder statesman who devoted his life to nation building. Mr. Fashidemi described Buhari as a visionary leader and a great man with passion for duty and totally focused on nation building. It's now time for a break. News Extra continues shortly. Stay with us.
The Senate Committee on the Review of the 1999 Constitution has rescheduled its Northwest Zonal Public Hearing to July 26th and 27th, 2025 at Bristol Palace Hotel, Kano. This hearing initially fixed for July 18th and 19th.
Balance. Smart Balance rice bran oil is rich in gamma-oryzanol. Several studies suggest that gamma-oryzanol may contribute to the reduction of bad cholesterol. Golden Terra Smart Balance oil. Good food, no worries.
Thank you for staying with us. The legacies of former President Muhammadu Buhari include assent to key legislations that enhanced federalism, political inclusion and economic growth. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikme reports that restoration of the January to December budgetary cycle is also credited to the Buhari administration.
The 8-year presidency of Muhammadu Buhari fostered a constructive relationship with the National Assembly, leading to significant legislative reforms and constitution amendments that promote federalism, such as the Electricity Act 2023, which allows states to generate, transmit, and distribute electricity within areas covered by the national grid. Landmark legislations during his presidency include assent to the Petroleum Industry Act 2021 after almost 2 decades of being in the works, the Electoral Act 2022, and the Nigeria Customs Service Act 2023 with far-reaching reforms.
In this act, provision in section 7.6, President shall appoint a career officer not below the rank of Assistant Controller General of Customs to be the Controller General of Nigeria Customs Service. And then not only at that, it's also make provision for the funding of the customs.
The Petroleum Industry Act, for more than 20 years, we are fighting to get this act passed. And I'm glad he passed it. And then I'm glad President Tinubu is religiously implementing it with courage, political courage.
The effect and impact was overwhelming. And today we have competitive outlets that are competing to give Nigerians the fuel they deserve.
Other crucial and unprecedented bills signed into law during the Buhari presidency are the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018 after almost 2 decades of advocacy, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control NCDC Act 2018, and the Not Too Young to Run Act, which lowered the age limit for political office from 35 to 30 years in the Senate and 30 to 25 years in the House of Representatives and State Houses of Assembly.
He gave
this rare opportunity for the young to grow. And you can see more young people in the National Assembly and everywhere.
Beyond legislations, Nigerians believe there are values present and future leaders can learn from the late Muhammadu Buhari.
Is simplicity. We should be simple as leaders. We should not see this word that we're carrying into heaven. The level of wealth accumulation should be minimal.
To honor Buhari's legacy and service to the nation, plenary is suspended by the National Assembly until Tuesday, 22nd July 2025. Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Let's look at the solid minerals sector now, as the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, has announced that the federal government will no longer issue any mining license without a local processing plan. This was at the opening of the 4th edition of the African Natural Resources Energy Summit in Abuja. Ikene Ndulwe reports.
We have procrastinated for far too long.
That sums up the feelings from stakeholders from across Africa. And the conversation in this hall is about creating wealth that remains in the region. Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, is championing the cause, insisting on harnessing local content for sustainable development. He is happy to announce that Nigeria's sweeping reforms in the solid minerals sector has led to an increase in revenue from 6 billion naira in 2023 to 38 billion naira in 2024.
Let this summit in Abuja be remembered as a moment when African ambition was matched with action, when we came together not as individual nations, but as a unified bloc determined to build a new chapter of industrial power and energy sovereignty.
Nigeria is working to ensure that local content does not only remain a policy slogan, but becomes a measurable level for economic growth, industrial capacity, and energy security.
Investors are confident that reforms to formalize the mining environment across Africa are beneficial to all stakeholders.
We want to be doing everything here in Nigeria and other African countries so that we can have the end product. We want to create more wealth, more job, more labor.
As they take their leave, the participants are hopeful of renewed commitment to fostering sustainable development across Africa. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
Now, time to talk business, and Benny Adams is here. Benny.
Thank you, Yeri. Now, coming from the legacies of late former President Muhammadu Buhari, the Liberal Progressives and Patriotic Members Congress for Good Governance and Social Justice believe that more than ever before, it is time to walk the talk by ensuring Nigerians produce what we consume and consume what we produce. This is as members embark on a national campaign to win advocates for economic growth, good governance, and social justice.
Every Nigerian to buy what we produce locally. That's how you can increase the economic fortune of this country. That's how you can, change the foreign, exchange calamity that we find ourselves in today.
Nigeria should be producing enough food, for export. Also, we are not at a level where our food production should be such that with all the potentials that we have, the land, the people, the population, and the good, soil for agriculture.
To advance good governance at various levels, at the local government, state, and also federal.
The Nigerian Stock Exchange First Holdco dominated market activity, appreciating by 9.90% and accounting for more than 90% of the total volume traded, value in major blocks of market transactions involving 10.46 billion shares. The market sustained its bullish streak following Tuesday's public holiday, mourning the passing of our former President Muhammadu Buhari. Today's data shows 4% decline in volume, 24% improvement in turnover, but 7% decline in deals. On the aggregate, 129 listed equities participated in trading, ending with 41 gainers and 44 losers. This is it on business at this time.
Benny for the update. Now, Nigeria needs a new citizens-driven constitution to meet the contemporary demands of the society. This resonated at a national summit on the future of Nigeria's constitutional democracy held in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf was there.
However, for me, no constitution can be ever regarded as perfect.
The National Summit on the Future of Nigeria's Constitutional Democracy is believed to be a landmark event aimed at reshaping the country's constitutional framework. It seeks to replace the existing 1999 Constitution with a new and people-driven framework that reflects Nigeria's diversity, aspirations, and federal character.
It is imperative that we persuade our leaders through reasoned argument, consensus building, and compelling evidence that Nigeria is in dire need of a new constitutional framework that reflects the aspirations and realities of all its citizens.
Nigeria must function more effectively. Nigeria must work more efficiently and fairly for each and every one of its citizens. That's the spirit that has brought us here today.
Key proposals at the summit include strengthening federalism, protecting minority rights, electoral justice, governance transparency, and grassroots development.
If we live here with a clear, actionable roadmap to 1, restore sovereignty to the people, 2, enact a truly people-driven constitution, and 3, reform our political system to reflect our realities, then this meeting will go down in history as a turning point for Nigeria.
We will continue to talk. And as we keep talking, we are addressing the problem. And I believe the leadership of this country, we have their blessings. That's why we're here.
The summit is convened by the eminent patriots in collaboration with the Nigerian Political Summit Group, led by former Commonwealth Secretary General Chief Emeka Anyoku and co-chaired by Senators Benga Daniel and Aminu Waziri Tambuwal. It features a diverse lineup of participants, including representatives from various organizations and industries. The draft legislative bill for a new constitution of Nigeria is expected to be presented to the Presidency and National Assembly. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Elsewhere, parliamentary resolutions are formal decisions taken by Legislative Assembly, usually related to public policy or national issues. These resolutions are not law, but carry significant political weight, often influencing government action and public opinion. Ignatius Nkwor in this report takes a look at the potency of this legislative instrument.
Decisions of Parliament are formalized through a process of debate as resolutions. From interventions on traffic situations to matters of budget allocation and national security. In Nigeria, just like in other democracies, parliamentary resolutions have shaped national discourse, with the National Assembly passing several bills and resolutions aimed at addressing urgent national issues. While parliamentary resolutions are powerful, they are not immune to legal scrutiny. In some cases, the judiciary has stepped in to review the legality of these resolutions, particularly when their scope seems to be in conflict with the Constitution.
The judiciary is there as the referee that is upholding rules and regulations and interpreting the Constitution when there are issues.
While Parliament has the authority to pass resolutions, these must stay within the framework of the Constitution and are subject to the consideration of the Executive. They are not binding on the Executive as they are advisory in nature.
The impulse of the people should be our worry, and we must act, in addressing them.
Any reasonable executive will have to have a second thought on whatever resolution that is put forward, because the implementation of the resolutions lies squarely with the executive. By the time it goes bad, the executive will be blamed.
When a resolution goes beyond that, the judiciary has the responsibility to review and ensure constitutional compliance. For instance, in 2018, the National Assembly reordering the sequence of elections for the 2019 general elections, placing the presidential election last, but court nullified that amendment, ruling that only INEC has the right to organize and conduct elections.
I heard one of the chambers amending the standing orders to say that you must be there must be a ranking or non-ranking. These matters have been decided by the courts.
These court rulings often set precedents, defining the limits of parliamentary powers and strict adherence to the doctrine of separation of powers. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
In other news, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has resigned his membership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, with immediate effect. In a letter dated July 14, 2025, and addressed to the chairman, PDP, Jada 1 Ward, Jada local government area of Adamawa State, Atiku said his resignation is due to irreconcilable differences that have emerged in the former ruling party. He noted that he found it necessary to part ways due to the current trajectory the party has taken, which, according to him, diverges from the foundational principles it stood for. Elsewhere, the Nigerian Immigration Service has announced that from August 1, 2025, all applications for the Combined Expatriate Residence Permit and Aliens Card, SEPAC, must be submitted online via sepac.immigration.gov.ng. A statement by the Service Public Relations Officer Akinshola Akinlabi indicates that physical SEPAC forms will no longer be accepted after July 31, 2025, as the service moves to enhance transparency and efficiency. Applicants with paid but unsubmitted forms are advised to complete and submit them before the deadline to avoid invalidation. The Nigerian Immigration Service also urges individuals and companies responsible for expatriates to finalize all pending applications within the time frame. Inquiries should be directed to the Office of the Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Immigration Service Headquarters, Abuja. As Nigeria's tertiary education sector grapples with issues of governance, relevance and reform, one institution, Yakubu Gowon University, is stepping forward with bold steps to reposition itself as a model of renewal and resilience. The acting Vice-Chancellor of Yakubu Gowon University, Professor La Patricia Manko, has outlined a fresh strategic direction for the institution. At the media parley in Abuja, Professor Manko speaks on the university's renewed mandate shaped by recent transitions, governance, shake-ups, and the urgent need for institutional integrity.
We want to stand on that an academic community must not be a divided community. It can be divided along theories, and you know what happens in Abuja and other communities, academic environments, where debates go along theories or, political niches. That is debate and it's healthy. But when you begin to say be sectional and tribalistic or religious, then you are undermining the integrity of our academia.
Manko announces a sweeping overhaul of university protocols, promising greater transparency, inclusiveness, and academic focus. According to her, the renaming of Yakubu Gowon University is symbolic, a conscious pivot to national values, unity, and purpose. Now, the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPRO, celebrates World Public Relations Day 2025, marking over 6 decades of public relations in Nigeria. NIPRO President Dr. Ike Nyeliaku calls on practitioners to reflect on their actions and chart new frontiers for a stronger institute. He emphasizes public relations' role in shaping institutions, transforming societies, and promoting good governance, and urges practitioners to recommit to the profession's ideals with pride and purpose. Let's head to Katsina State now, where Governor Umar Diko Rada has applauded accountants and financial experts for playing a pivotal role in shaping the economic landscape of Nigeria. The governor made a disclosure when he declared open the ongoing third season of mandatory continuing professional development 2025 of Anan Holding in Katsina. Suleiman Kudugi reports.
Event with the theme Transaction and Regulatory Compliance, reflecting ANA's commitment to advancing professional competency and regulatory adherence in the accounting profession. It is aims at ensuring that members of ANA are continuously updating their knowledge with regard to the emerging development as it affects accounting and finance. For Governor Umar Diko Rada, the role of accountants cannot be overemphasized if accountability and good governance would be achieved.
Your professional demands integrity, transparency and accountability, values that are essential for good governance and sustainable development.
We play a crucial role in ensuring that tax laws and regulations are complied with.
Other speakers dwelt on tax risk management and dispute resolution, as well as corporate taxation and reporting.
When we are having changes in the tax laws in the country, to abreast our members and professionals.
To see our members being accountable for what they do in their various aspects of work.
The 3-day event is expected to end with the induction of new members of ANA, all geared towards promoting professionalism. In Katsina, Suleiman Kudogi, NTA News.
It's a new dawn for beneficiaries as the Jigawa State government, in partnership with the Qatar Charity Organization, unveils a major livelihood empowerment program in Dutse. Muhammad Musa Askira reports that the empowerment is believed to go a long way in boosting the economy of the beneficiaries and that of the state.
The initiative, facilitated by the ambassador of the state of Qatar to Nigeria, Dr. Ali bin Ghanim Al-Hijri, saw the distribution of tricycle for passenger and goods transportation, as well as heavy-duty multipurpose grinding machines to beneficiaries drawn from across the state.
The occasion also includes the distribution of additional 50,000 naira cash grants to each of the 60 beneficiaries by the Jigawa State government.
Governor Umar Namadi, in company of the Qatar envoy and other dignitaries, also commissions 2 newly constructed township roads in Dutse metropolis aimed at improving mobility and economic activities. The delegation later inspected the Tsangaya Integrated School, named after the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, which is nearing completion and expected to boost access to quality education.
We must sincerely appreciate the continued support to the socio-economic development, empowerment and well-being of our people. This profoundly demonstrates the bond of brotherhood, love and partnership between Qatar government, Qatar Charity and the government and the people of Jigawa State.
First of all, I would like to use this occasion to commend the remark of achievement of Your Excellency and your administration, especially in this field, education, agriculture, infrastructure, power sector and healthcare.
Governor Namadi hosted a dinner in honor of the ambassador and his team, describing the collaboration as a milestone in strengthening ties and improving the socio-economic well-being of Jigawa people. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
10 suspects have been arraigned before the Federal High Court sitting in Port Harcourt for conspiracy and illegal tampering of crude oil pipeline. Ijoma Ogwoke reports that 100 suspects have been prosecuted nationwide for alleged petroleum pipeline vandalism.
The cases before Justice Adema Obilo are 2 count charges that have to do with conspiracy and tampering with oil pipeline. One of the cases involves one Ukebu Azubike, while the second involves 9 defendants from a shipping company. Defendants in the case were involved in illegal dealing of crude oil intercepted by security agencies. The defendants were unable to provide a source and were charged for illegal dealing with petroleum products. Lead prosecutor Ufem Uket spoke to newsmen.
It's a case in which a barge was intercepted carrying about 2 million
850,959 liters of product that has been confirmed to be crude oil. And the defendants have not been able to say the source of that crude, the source from which they got the crude oil. And that is the case before the courts.
The first case has been adjourned till 23rd July 2025 after an attempt on application for bail. In Port Harcourt, Ijomu Gweke, NTA News.
Let's pause here. There's more news in a bit. Please stay with us.
Something to fill my belly.
Many thanks for staying with us. A fresh wave is sweeping across Nigeria's agricultural landscape, and it's arriving in the form of reality television. The AgroVest reality TV show, in partnership with the Niger State government and other stakeholders, is bringing together 37 young Nigerians from all 36 states and the FCT for a 60-day televised challenge. Alika Akwanachi Arwa will tell us more about it.
Rising youth restiveness and food insecurity still pressing national concerns, a bold new idea is planting seeds of change. The AgroVest reality TV show is designed to pull young people into agriculture, not just as farmers, but as innovators and entrepreneurs, offering them a platform to grow food, build skills, and change the narrative around agribusiness in Nigeria.
These have really raised the interest of our young people. Everybody is proud. In Niger State, everybody is a farmer.
Organizer says the show is meant to disrupt the outdated stereotypes about farming, showcasing its exciting, high-tech, and profitable side, proving that agriculture is not just a way of life, it is a smart business.
The show is slated to kickstart by 15th of September, where we're going to be having these participants come in. So in the next 30 to 60 days, we are going to be done with the audition for the participants themselves, and also camping them in Niger State, where we're going to be having the show take place.
Information is key. Information is knowledge. Nigeria is a massive country, and with a country of such a large population, with such diversity, you need one platform where people can have trustworthy information. That is how I think this AgroVest platform will benefit agribusiness.
With a grand prize of 20 million naira and a range of other support incentives, AgroVest is banking on energy and creativity of Nigerian youth to revitalize this sector, feed the nation, and fuel economic growth. In Abuja, Alika Okwanachi, Arwa, NTA News.
Now, Nigeria's livestock industry is currently receiving a boost through the deployment of technology to drive commercial activities and optimize gains across existing value chains. The initiative is in partnership with Livestock Productivity and Resilience Projects and supported by Israeli government. Yusuf Jika reports.
Nigeria, with its rich and diverse landscape, is a destination for many viable breeds of livestock with series of economic value chains for economic growth and prosperity. Beneath this treasure lies a paradox of insufficient pasture, subjecting farmers to open grazing, thereby aggravating social disorder. Now, Productivity and Resilience Support Project is taking the lead with deployment of technologies to improve pasture production, processing, and marketing for economic growth.
The pursuit of sustainable pasture management is not merely an agricultural undertaking, it is a pathway toward environmental stewardship, social stability, and economic resilience.
Our focus area include innovative technologies such as GIS, remote sensing, and precision irrigation, best practices in rangeland and soil health management, commercial models for sustainable pasture enterprises.
Experts are leveraging innovative solutions for smart and precision farming to enhance sustainable pasture production and management, unlocking new opportunities for economic growth.
It becomes our collective responsibility to explore innovative solutions that enhance productivity.
And our job is to provide agri-financing and also technical support to initiatives such as this.
The issue is what we do to get the production to the off-takers.
The optimization of pasture commercialization is expected to have a significant economic impact, creating new jobs and income opportunities for farmers and rural communities. In Abuja, Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
Health experts, data registrars and international partners assemble in Abuja to look at the possibility of changing how the country detects, tracks and tackles cancer. This is at a 2-day basic cancer registry training and induction for the newly established population-based cancer registry. Uche Ugochukwu reports on how better cancer data could mean better survival chances for millions of Nigerians.
Investigations reveal that cancer cases are frequently marked by late diagnosis, inadequate record keeping, and fragmented responses in Nigeria. Many cancer patients have said to have died without their cases being documented. Unlike hospital-based reports, population-based cancer registries track every new cancer case within specific region, providing detailed data that facilitates health planning. With support from international partners, NICRAT is training health workers to utilize modern tools while emphasizing confidentiality, ethical standards, and data accuracy.
Normally, when you said you're having cancer cases in the country and you don't have very good data, we have not been doing anything wonderful. But for the past few years now, we're having data from cancer cases. It has been a very wonderful experience.
We're informed that there's a new software to manage cancer data, so that's the CanReg 5. So it promises to be a hands-on training.
As NICRAT lays the foundation for cancer surveillance, initiatives are also in progress to integrate registry data with hospital records, death certificates and screening programs, ensuring a comprehensive understanding of Nigeria's cancer burden.
This will include implementing real-time data collection system to support rapid decision-making and early intervention nationwide. These efforts will be complemented by a robust public awareness initiative.
Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
And still talking health managers and partners are collaborating towards strengthening competencies, planning and participation for sustainable healthcare services. The capacity development workshop held in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State is aligned with the National Health Sector Renewal Investment Initiative by the Federal Ministry of Health. Ebinemi Zimitiola reports.
As Nigeria progresses towards universal health coverage by the year 2030, significant health reforms targeted at enhancing the healthcare system are ongoing. The National Health Sector Renewable Investment Initiative, driven by the sector-wide approach SWAP, provides a unified roadmap, reduces financial barriers, and addresses systematic challenges in the healthcare system, taking into consideration the bottom-top approach in planning, budgeting, research, and effective implementation. This capacity development workshop for health leaders and managers in Bayelsa State, with the theme Leadership, Health Systems Strengthening and Planning to Improve Healthcare Outcomes in Nigeria.
We call it one plan, one budget, one conversation, one reporting, and one voice. When we come together to plan, it will be participatory.
Bayelsa State now has the opportunity of preparing her own plans, making her own plans based on her own needs.
Collectively, jointly monitoring it, and then in terms of reporting, it is aligning in one single direction, one source of truth, that this is where we agree our data should come from.
Goal of saving lives, reducing the physical and financial help and providing health for all Nigerians are being achieved.
Participants are urged to utilize knowledge gained to improve healthcare delivery. Ebinimi Zitemiola, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare has inaugurated a technical working group that will come up with guidelines for front-of-pack labeling of packaged foods in Nigeria. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim reports that this is a public health strategy designed to simplify nutrition information on packaged food.
New
you know the nutritional content of that your favorite packaged snack or beverage? Or perhaps pay attention to the content usually labeled behind most packaged food? Experts say the indifference of consumers to this vital information has led to the loss of lives and impacted the health of others negatively, particularly those with cardiovascular diseases.
For instance, we have people that are diabetic. They may not know that the food they are purchasing has high sugar. So it's important they are aware just from the front of the pack to tell them this food contains high sugar, so they run away from it.
The good news now is that Ministry of Health and Social Welfare is working to ensure diligence in this sphere. The ministry has constituted a committee of experts to supervise the front of pack labeling to ensure customer care in the interest of public health.
The front of pack label have been identified as one of the ways we can educate people, the public, to make an ethical choice when they want to do purchase in the market.
By displaying clear symbols, colors, and text on the front of the food packages, we are enable the mothers, someone in Kano, in Lagos, to be able to know what exactly to give her child, and an adult to know exactly what to take, especially for those who are diabetic, those who are hypertensive, and other diseases.
The committee has the mandate to, among others, simplify information and signs that will subsequently be adopted as a standard level for all packaged consumables and possibly see to their translation into local languages, all for the well-being of the nation. In Abuja, Ibrahim, NTA News.
Another break is due. News Extra will be back shortly.
The world needs moms. With a splash of golden terra oil, a mom can transform a frown into a smile. Change no thanks into yes please. Resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty family meals is all that matters. Where there are moms, there is love. Golden Terra Oil. Pour pure love.
My people, toilets have stains which bleach cannot clean effectively. But Harpic is thicker and sticks better, which gives 10x better cleaning versus bleach and kills germs. Oh, wow. You can now see that Harpic is better than bleach.
TerraCube. Unwrap joy. Unleash taste.
You know Total Football. Fast, fluid, and game-changing. Experience Total Betting with the Live Score Bet app. Scores and stats play alongside great odds and a sleek bet builder. Or switch your play with our Aviator and slot games. With Halftime Heroes, a 250 ACA bonus, and fast payouts. Winning big has never been easier. Now, to win big, everything in your hand.
Dear Nigerians, we need you to join us in sanitizing the Nigerian advertising space. The spate of advertisement on the online media space is not only worrisome, but have negative effects on our health, culture, religion, values, and life as Nigerians. This has been due to unverified claims, misinformation, disinformation, superlative advertisement, etc. Many people have lost their hard-earned income due to fraudulent advertisements. Many are suffering medical and critical health issues. Some advertisements have abused our religion, cultural beliefs, and some have used pornography in advertisements against the Nigerian Code of Advertising, among other challenges. We cannot continue to allow this to impact our lives, values, and our economy negatively. ARCON is the Federal Government Regulatory Council of Nigeria, set up to regulate the Nigerian advertising industry. We need your support to promote responsible and ethical advertising.
Welcome back. The ECOWAS Regional Standby Force is already operational for peacekeeping in Guinea-Bissau and Gambia. To activate it in kinetic form for counter-terrorism, governmental experts from the sub-region are meeting in Abuja to validate the policy document. Kelvin Evonaye reports.
Is the second review and validation meeting of the governmental experts from the sub-region this year. The first meeting in February was to draft the policy document for the Regional Standby Force Logistic Depot, while this meeting for the validation of the training manual for the troops towards a full kinetic operation for counter-terrorism in the sub-region, where many countries are still battling extreme violence from terrorists, thereby slowing down economic growth.
Ministers of Finance as well as Ministers of Defense will soon have a meeting in Abuja. Like you remember the last meeting, they agreed to be able to have this meeting so that they will mobilize the required resources. To activate the ECOWAS standby force in its kinetic form will require substantial injection of resources.
The main aim of this training policy was to ensure a consistent and effective training of the troops that will form up the ECOWAS standby force. Training comprises both education training, individual training and collective training, and military exercises.
The ECOWAS Standby Force for Counter-Terrorism is one of the key programs of the ECOWAS Commission designed to restore peace to troubled parts of the sub-region to advance its objective of a prosperous region. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewonuaye, NTA News.
In recent years, a growing number of Nigerians have been found serving in foreign armed forces, raising serious concerns about national security and loyalty. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello spotlights a new campaign urging citizens to consider the deep implications of this trend.
From Ukraine to the Middle East, reports of young Nigerians enlisting in foreign militaries are on the rise. Lured by the promise of better pay, foreign passports, or a way out of poverty, many believe they are choosing opportunity, but at what cost?
My first inclination or desire to join the armed forces of Nigeria, interestingly, stemmed from sometimes in 1977 or so, when I saw then head of state of Nigeria, Lieutenant General Obasanjo, in his uniform. I felt attracted.
Retired Air Vice Marshal Olatukumbo Adesoya, a former Nigerian Air Force spokesperson and defense attaché to Russia, has become the face of a new national campaign addressing this issue. True patriotism means believing in Nigeria enough to help rebuild it, even when it is hard. Air Vice Marshal Adesoya adds, we must give the youths reason to stay, serve and lead, not flee.
I know that in some cases people believe that the state has failed them, not realizing that the state cannot possibly meet every individual aspiration. So I think one of the things that we can begin to do is, first, we need to let people know, as a form of campaign, and the National Orientation Agency, for example, must up its game.
Dr. Stephen Okwori is a security expert and strategist. The campaign now is gaining traction in schools, barracks, and online platforms, urging youths to channel their ambitions into lawful service and civic responsibility at home. On the part of Air Vice Marshal Adesoya, civic education inculcated in the curriculum helped shape their minds growing up. While for Stephen Okwori, the days of mass mobilization for self-reliance, social justice, and economic recovery, MAMSA, should be reviewed.
When it used to be MAMSA, I recall very vividly when I was growing up, there is this vehicle that is called station wagon, 504 station wagon. All local governments had those station wagons with a public address system on top of the roof of the vehicle.
The armed forces uniform, according to them, is more than a fabric. It's allegiance, and this campaign reminds us the future of Nigeria must be secured by those willing to stand for her, lawfully and with conviction. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
In other news, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Professor Nentawe Yewada, says President Bola Tinubu's administration is committed to restoring peace in Benue State and other parts of the country. Professor Yewata stated this when he visited the Ochidoma, His Royal Majesty John Eliagu Odogbo, at his palace in Otopo. Blessing Omeche Ebute has the details.
The visit of the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Professor Nentawe Yelwada, is to commiserate with the people of Benue South Senatorial District over the attacks on communities in the area. While interacting with the Ochidoma, His Royal Majesty John Eliagu Odogbo, and some traditional rulers from the area, the minister said the visit was at the instance of the president, who directed the ministry to conduct a needs assessment of the prolonged killings of Benue people by armed herders.
Need assessment covering, number one, the peace component. The peace component covers how we can restore peace in Benue State, how we can restore and ensure that this killing taking place in Benue State stopped.
The paramount ruler of the Idoma nation, His Royal Majesty John Eliagu Odogbo, called on the federal government to intensify efforts towards restoring peace and preventing loss of innocent lives in the area.
And there is no doubt with the problems we are going through, for him to identify with us, he came down to Benue himself. And those promises he made for us, those are the promises we are beginning to see. He wants peace to reign in Benue, and from all things we are seeing, peace is coming back to Benue.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction thereafter proceeded to the IDP's camp in Naka, where he expressed the federal government's concerns about the attacks and displacements of people from their communities. The visit is among many embarked on by relevant key players in a bid to restore peace to troubled communities in Benue State. Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
And from Benue, we head to the Plateau, where the government has condemned recent attack and killing of innocent citizens in a community in Riom, local government area of the state. Undeyang Adeyabagyang reports that the state government is also calling on the community to remain calm, vigilant, and avoid any form of retaliation.
Residents of Bindi Jebu village in Riom local government area of the state are predominantly farmers and have been enjoying relative peace. However, the peace of the community was shattered Tuesday morning following its attack by gunmen.
At about 10 p.m., there were some sporadic gunshots. They made an attempt, and so the vigilante that were on ground, and also the unit commander that is stationed at SOAP, whom the people actually, commended the effort he made. They resisted the attackers at the first instance. And so at about 3 a.m. of this morning, the attackers regrouped themselves and came.
Terrain is so porous, and that is why some of us have argued that we need a state police in this country.
In a statement, Plateau State government sympathizes with families of victims and directed security agencies to intensify surveillance, arrest perpetrators, and bring them to book. Ndenyan and Abuja, NTA News.
Meanwhile, about 151 senior officers of the Nigeria Police Force are currently appearing before the Force Disciplinary Committee over various pending disciplinary issues. The exercise, which commenced on Monday, 14th July, runs through to Friday, 25th July 2025 at the Force headquarters, Abuja. A statement by the Force indicates that the disciplinary committee is tasked with reviewing cases of alleged professional misconduct, ethical violations, and breaches of conduct involving officers from the rank of Assistant Superintendent of Police and above. The affected officers, drawn from commands and formations nationwide, are undergoing a thorough and transparent process in line with police regulations and disciplinary procedures ahead of recommendations to the Police Service Commission. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egwetokun, reiterates the commitment to ensuring discipline and ethical conduct, as the force will not tolerate any form of indiscipline. Now, as artificial intelligence and automation continue to transform industries worldwide, Nigeria's workforce is on the verge of a significant transformation. With AI already being harnessed in various sectors, the question remains, is Nigeria ready to unlock the full potential of AI and automation, driving innovation and growth in the job market? Now, correspondent Ibrahim Dan Hamidou has answers to this question.
As millions of Nigerians interact with artificial intelligence, the looming threat of AI coming for jobs hangs in the air, casting a shadow of uncertainty that's hard to shake. Like a boomerang, concerns about AI-driven job displacement keep coming back, fueled by the rapid rise of generative AI. Many Nigerians are left wondering, will they be replaced by machines? Or worse, left behind in the dust? But is the reality as straightforward as it seems? Or are we just scratching the surface of a far more enigmatic issue? To unravel this puzzle, I sought out experts who understand the intricacies of AI. Meet Kashifu Inua Abdullahi, Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA. As a computer scientist and IT professional, he shared his insights on how AI can be a catalyst for Nigeria's digital transformation.
I'm an advocate of collective intelligence. What I mean by collective intelligence is getting people, computers to work together to achieve greater things. Because there are tasks computers can do better than humans. And there are tasks humans can do better than computers.
As I sat down with the DG of NITDA, I recalled our game of chess, where strategic thinking is key. Similarly, in the game of AI adoption, Nigeria needs to make tactical moves to stay ahead. The DG of NITDA's vision for a digital Nigeria is clear, but the question remains, are Nigerians ready to reskill and adapt to this new era?
We have done a pilot last year for digital literacy to train our senior citizens, people in the informal sector, how to use technology.
Next, I met with Mujahid Musa, a founder and CEO of EGL Africa Limited, an AI solutions company. This young AI specialist is passionate about reskilling Nigerians, emphasizing that the future is intelligent and it's imperative to prepare for it.
What I see is AI is poised to take away a lot of jobs, but fortunately it will create a lot more jobs. It will require upskilling and upgrade for a lot of jobs.
It's clear that the future work in Nigeria is at a crossroads. The need for reskilling and upskilling has never been more pressing. The future is coded within, and the power of transformation lies in reprogramming ourselves.
Using this AI tools is extremely simple. You just tell the AI, okay, I graduated from social course and I have social experience, so I don't have any. Now I'm looking for a job. Where do I start? You'd be surprised. The AI will give you lots of information from what to do, how to assess your experiences, and sources to go to.
The journey into the future of work has begun, and AI is leading the charge. With the ability to learn from just a few examples, AI is reshaping jobs set to revolutionize the market. In Abuja, I'm Ibrahim Ahmedou, NTA News.
Well, thanks, Ibrahim. Indeed, the future is intelligent. And by the way, I'd like to challenge you to a game of chess someday. All right, now let's take another break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Have you heard the news? The federal government of Nigeria, through its direct benefit transfer program, has started the disbursement of 75,000 naira per household in 3 installments of 25,000, 25,000, 25,000 naira. Each recipient must have a validated national identification number, NIN, to receive the payment on behalf of their household members. To benefit, your household must be in the National Social Register of Poor and Vulnerable Households in Nigeria. The federal government's direct benefit transfer program is helping to reduce the effect of suffering while promoting financial and economic inclusion for the poor and vulnerable population in Nigeria.
My name is Joy Odagi. One man just called me one day at my house, so I shocked. I said, my man said, na 419. How they go call me? Say, I register. I say, I register. He said, make I call my Mac. Say, make I call collect my, with NIN, make I call collect my ATM card. Call collect money. I go with my husband. He said, now 419. I reach there, as he say, real. They pay me my 75,000 naira. I use the money for my business, eat for inside. Teach one person how to make soap. To get the card, you need NIN.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, in collaboration with the National Social Investment Programs Agency, National Social Safety Net's Coordinating Office, and the National Cash Transfer Office.
Thank you for staying with us. As tributes continue to pour in for the late former President Muhammadu Buhari across the world, his legacy in the sports sector in Nigeria cannot be overemphasized. Many describe the late president as a man who stood tall to ensure that Nigeria's sports gained recognition both home and abroad. In this report, Oche Nwede takes a look at the late President Muhammadu Buhari's achievements and contributions in trying to give sports a facelift in Nigeria.
In a country where sports unite more than politics, music or language, driving it across national and international level becomes pertinent. This is the story of Nigerian sport, which took a new turn under the leadership of the late President Muhammadu Buhari. Before President Buhari assumed office in 2015, Nigerian sports had faced dwindling funding, crumbling infrastructure and declining morale. However, during Buhari's administration, sport began a quiet revolution built on reforms, inclusion and renewed pride.
Minus Muhammadu Buhari, I couldn't have been unable to achieve even one single thing.
Neglected arenas found life again, just like the Abuja and Lagos National Stadium. Grassroots grounds in Daura and Kaduna also reopened to new generations of dreamers. Under its administration, Nigeria witnessed tremendous development and achievement in sport from the national team and various individuals. In football, the Golden Eaglets won the 2015 FIFA Under-17 World Cup. The Super Falcons won the African Women's Cup of Nations in 2016 and 2018 and reached the 2019 World Cup round of 16. In basketball, the Nigerians the Tigers became continental champions 3 times in 2017, 2019 and 2022. Not only that, they also reached the quarterfinals of the 2018 FIBA World Cup, best ever feat recorded by an African team, and also qualified for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. In athletics, Nigerian Toby Amoson won gold at the 2022 World Championship, setting a world record in the 100 meters hurdles, with Team Nigeria having its best performance at the 2022 Commonwealth Games, winning 12 gold medals.
Not only football strive during the reign of late President Muhammadu Buhari, also athletics, basketball, they really strive.
When it comes to sport, during the era of President Muhammadu Buhari was when Solidarity was the Minister of Youth and Sport, and he did wonderfully well. He came up with so many programs that really galvanized the sporting sector.
President Buhari did not just invest in medals, he invested in people by paying stipends of families of fallen sport icons, cash reward for national heroes. And for the first time, a National Para-Sport Festival in 2022 gave voice and the needed attention to athletes who had long gone unseen. Behind me here is the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, one of the facilities that witnessed renovation during the late President Muhammadu Buhari administration just a few years ago. Although President Muhammadu Buhari may have taken the final bow, but the tracks he laid, the champions he nurtured, and the legacy he left behind in sport will echo through generations. In Abuja, Oche Ngbedi, NTA News.
Many thanks, Oche. Indeed, the legacies of former President Muhammadu Buhari lives on. Bade, do you agree with me?
Right, we'll continue to celebrate him. Now let's turn our attention to basketball. Not the best of news as Nigeria's under-19 women's basketball team, the Junior Tigress, failed to progress to the quarterfinals of the World Championship after losing 51-77 to Hungary on Wednesday. Despite losing 2 matches in the group stage, the Nigerian ladies qualified for the second round to face Hungary for a place in the last 8. Despite holding the Hungarians to a 9-all scoreline in the first quarter, the Junior Tigress capitulated in the second quarter and never got back into the game. The Junior Tigress will now play the classification game on Friday to know their ranking in the tournament. Still talking about the women now, but football this time as Nigeria's Super Falcons are in high spirits as they plot their revenge against Zambia's Copper Queens, where both teams meet in Friday's quarterfinal at the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco. The coach Justin Madugo's side, who are yet to concede a goal in Morocco, plan to stop the Zambian side, who ended their medal bid at the last edition of the tournament, with the players talking tough already.
It's not going to be an easy game, but we have what it takes to move into the next stage of the knockout.
To me, the Zambia team is not a threat to us because we know what brought us here. We have a mission, and the mission is for us to take the trophy to Nigeria for the 10th time.
Yeah, as the Nigeria Tennis Federation is stepping up efforts to discover and groom tennis talents and youngsters in the country, while also giving them the platform to excel on the global stage. President of the Federation, Ifedayo Akindoju, reaffirmed this commitment at a press briefing organized on the sidelines of the ongoing Dav-Notch Championship at the tennis courts of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja. He also confirmed that the Dav-Notch Championship has placed Nigeria on the global sports map, with top-ranking Nigerian stars participating in the 5th edition of the championship.
We include some juniors that are available to play the junior Dav-Notch. So for the first time in this event, we have the Dav-Notch junior.
Well, that does it on Sports Tonight. Let's return to here.
Well, thanks, Vali, for those sports stories. No matter what sporting event is going on at the moment, what is on the lips of every Nigerian is the passing of the former president, and the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, NSCIA, commiserates with the family, people of Ijebu land, Ogun State, and the Muslim community over the passing of the Awujale of Ijebu land, Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetona, describing it as a monumental loss, not just to Ijebu land and Ogun State, but to the entire Muslim Ummah in Nigeria. A statement by the Secretary General, Professor Ishaq Oluyede, notes that NSCRA President General Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, praised the late monarch's impactful leadership and devotion to Islam, praying Almighty Allah to forgive his shortcomings and grant him Ajana Firdaus. The Sultan explored virtues of Adetona, who served as chairman of the Ogun State Muslim Council until his death, where he made invaluable contributions to the growth of the Muslim community. His reign was also marked by commitment to peace, religious devotion, and national service, earning him respect across Nigeria. Now, the former governor of Kano State, Senator Ibrahim Shekarau, has condoled with the family and people of Katsina State and the nation over the passing of Nigeria's former president, Muhammadu Buhari. He recalls with fond memories his close interaction with the former Nigerian leader since he joined politics in 2002, and notes the former president had strong passion for the nation and that people's interest was his priority. He says the nation will surely miss former President Buhari's patriotic zeal and commitment. And yes, Nigerians are still paying glowing tributes to the former President Muhammadu Buhari, who passed on last Sunday in a London hospital. Annie Daniels has a compilation of these tributes.
Residents of Ebonyi State are still saddened by the death of former President Muhammadu Buhari. Caleb Obonna reports that the people say the legislative legacies of Buhari will live on, even as he lived for what he believed in.
It's a colossal loss to the country. His Excellency Muhammad Buhari really did a lot. He'll be remembered for good.
As a military man, he did well. As a two-time president, he did well.
And in Imo State, Loretta Egwim reports that the former Nigerian leader, during his tenure as both military and democratic head, worked towards achieving the Nigeria of his dream.
Anyone that contributed in any way at all to the realization of the project, Second Bridge project, somebody we must commend.
His presidency had a lasting impact on the country, and his legacy continues to shape our nation's trajectory.
And in Rivers State, Ijoma Ugoke reports that residents and key players in the state are still mourning the passing of the former president, reflecting on legacies and policies of his administration and their impact on Nigeria's economy.
Can't forget about the railway that completed the continuation of project of the previous predecessors. He's a man of continuity, and he's a father of all.
He was a father figure to so many. He contributed to the growth of Nigeria. He did his own best.
He was a man of integrity, a man who was out for the people. He came out and fought corruption.
Annie Daniels, NTA News.
It's now time to take a peep at the weather outlook for tomorrow.
To the weather update. Let's dive into Thursday's weather forecast. We're expecting light rain showers to sweep across the southeast and south-south region. Meanwhile, the southwest will be under cloudy conditions with a chance of drizzle in isolated areas. Moving northwards, parts of Nasarawa, Plateau, the Federal Capital Territory, and Niger can anticipate light rains. But if you are in the northeast and northwestern regions, expect thunderstorms accompanied by moderate rainfall. Let's take a look at the temperature forecast. I'm Safia Asanginusa. Thank you for watching.
Many thanks, Sophia, for the weather outlook for Thursday. And that does it on News Extra tonight. Many thanks for being a part of it. From the entire production crew, do have a good night.